Hey, I am BrettLeeClark, and this is my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a movie review of Halloween Ends. If you're new here, hi, I'm Brett, and I make random videos. Anything from top movie goofs, to cooking, to product reviews, to all kinds of stuff. So if you're new here, I usually do movie goofs, like mistakes and continuity errors. All of October, I'm doing the Halloween franchise. I've already done Halloween 1, 2, and 3. And then tomorrow I should have part 4 up, and Monday or Tuesday part 5. But yeah, so all the goofs and errors and movies. I've done the Scream franchise, and Top Gun, and Jurassic Park, and Mean Girls. All those so far. But yeah, so if you want to see any of those, go check them out after this video. But yeah, let's get into the spoiler review. So spoiler alert, the spoiler review of Halloween Ends. So before I get started, I am a Halloween fan. I'm a Halloween fan. I'm a Halloween fan. I'm a Halloween fan. I'm a Halloween fan. I grew up watching Halloween 4 hundreds of times. Halloween 5, 1 and 2. Those are my favorites. 1, 2, and 4 are my top favorites. I've seen those hundreds of times. I've seen the rest all over 20 times, if not 50. But I'm a Halloween fan, so I want to like this movie, right? I want to go in liking the movie. So I'm not being negative for no reason. I'm just critiquing it honestly. I love the Scream franchise, but are they all perfect? No, they're not all perfect. Are any of my videos perfect? No, they're not. So, like, this is just my opinion, okay? Like, you can have a different opinion, and that's okay. So I'm gonna start with the good, and then I'll go with the bad, and then I'll say how you can fix it, because you shouldn't point out a problem unless you have a solution. So I always, if I critique a movie in a negative way, I'll give how you could have fixed it. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, I know. Every time I post a video, I'm like, oh, I should have done this instead. Oh, I should have done that instead. Oh, I was focused on this poster instead of my face, but oh well. Like, I know, hindsight's 2020. But when you have 4 writers on a movie, you think somebody would be like, oh, maybe we should do it this way, or maybe this is dumb. Okay, so the good things of Halloween Ends. It was shot very well. It's very pretty. It's very well shot. It's not as choppy. It's like Halloween Kills is very choppy, and like parts were missing. Like, why is Lindsay bleeding? What happened there? So it's not as choppy as Halloween Kills was. So that it flowed very well. I'll give it that. And it had, if it was a standalone movie, it's not that bad. Okay, it's kind of weird and corny. But if it was a standalone movie by itself, it'd be okay. But as an ending to a trilogy, it makes 0 sense. So that's my good so far. My good so far is it was shot well. It's not choppy, and it's like, okay story, it's just, it shouldn't be the trilogy. So now, we'll get into the bad. Okay, so first problem is this Corey storyline, right? Like, this is like Friday the 13th part 5 of the Halloween franchise, right? So, Corey's storyline, he just happens to be babysitting a kid on Halloween night who's obsessed with Michael Myers. He just happens to kill that kid, right? He just happens to get bullied about it and be like, you know, a beat down person. He just happens to be bullied right in front of Laurie, who helps him out. And then Laurie introduces him to Allison. And it just happens that he gets beat up right in front of Michael Myers' sewer, where he lives like he's freaking Pennywise and It. Like, he just happens to be beat up right there and thrown over. And he just happens to go into the thing, and Michael Myers lets him go. And now he's friends with Laurie and them. Like, it's just too easy. Just like Scream 5 was too easy. Neve Campbell just happened to show up, and she just happened to put a tracker on her car, on Sam's car. Had she not done that, how are they planning on getting Gail and Sydney to the house in part 5? Doesn't make any sense. So in this one, doesn't make sense. It's just too easy. The babysitter guy who was babysitting on Halloween night and killed a kid obsessed with Michael Myers just happens to be bullied. Laurie helps him, and he just happens to be bullied right in front of Michael Myers' hole or sewer. Like, too easy, right? That's one thing. That's my first problem with this movie. Second problem with this movie is Laurie just takes him out with a kitchen knife. Let's start from the beginning. In 1978, Michael Myers was shot 6 times by Dr. Loomis. I shot him 6 times. But not only was he shot 6 times, Laurie stabbed him in the neck with a knitting needle. She stabbed him in the eye with a coat hanger. She stabbed him in the stomach with a kitchen knife. And then he was shot 6 times and fell off a balcony, right? Okay. Move on to 2018. In 2018, he was ran over. His hand was shot off by Laurie. He was stabbed by Laurie in the kitchen, and shot in the head by Karen and then put into a basement on fire. Then, in Halloween Kills, he survives that fire. He comes out, overtakes 10 men, 10 firefighters who have weapons, maybe it wasn't 10, but around 10 men who had weapons on them. He overtakes all them and kills them all. And then he goes on. Lindsay beats him with a bag of bricks. And then Allison stabs him upstairs before he kills her boyfriend. And then Karen stabs him in the back with a pitchfork and stomps his head into a staircase. And then he chases her into the town, where the town shoots him again multiple times and stabs him. And Karen stabs him in the back, like right here in the back of the neck. And yet he still manages to get up after all that and fight them and kill them all. And somehow he is now, in the final trilogy, Michael is like an old man who can't even get up. Like who gets pushed over by a teenager, who goes to Laurie's house and she can overpower him with a knitting needle holding to her head. She can overpower him with her hand in the garbage disposal, and she can overpower him with his foot on her neck. Even though in the previous movie he stomped on people's heads and made them crush like watermelons. But now somehow a 60-plus-year-old woman can overpower him, even though 10 firefighters couldn't. And somehow now a kitchen knife takes him out, even though a pitchfork, multiple shots, multiple people, multiple beatings, multiple stabs and gunshots and pitchforks, none of that took him out. But Laurie with a kitchen knife can take him out. Like, what? And half the movie's not even him, so it's like I said, Friday the 13th Part 5 meets Michael Myers. So the first half of the movie is not him at all. It's just Corey, again, who just happens to know Laurie. Like, what? It's just like, who wrote this? Okay. And then 4 people wrote this, and this is the best I could do. And then, on top of all that, this Corey kid, who you're supposed to feel bad for because he accidentally killed a kid, is now a bad guy because Michael saw the evil in his eyes, or Michael transferred the evil to him. Again, this movie by itself, standalone, wouldn't be that bad, but the fact that it was Halloween 2018 and Kills, and then this, like, Michael's unstoppable force in Halloween Kills, killing 10 firefighters and this and that. But now he's just like an old man living in a sewer. Like, what? Also, here's my problem. Does Michael Myers even know who Laurie is? Okay, so in part 2018, the doctor is trying to get him there. And Michael has no idea where he's going. He just wants to go home. And the doctor takes him to Laurie because he wants to see them finally face off. Then, in Halloween Kills, he's again just trying to get home. And the cop even tells Laurie, you know, it's not about you. Like, he doesn't know, it's not about you. Yet in this one, here she is again, just randomly in his way. He's probably like, who are these people? In 2018, let's think it from Michael's perspective. Okay, he's been locked away for 40 years. He gets out. He's escaped. And then the cop picks him up and puts him in the backseat and takes him to this random house. He gets out and goes to that random house, right, because he's going to kill who's over there. There's these 3 girls who have like a trap ready for him, and they're going to get him. And he's like, who are these people? This girl's wearing a Christmas sweater. This other girl, and there's one lady, and they have a trap set up for me. They have a hidden basement. Who are these people? What? No one's ever said, hey, Michael, this is the girl from 40 years ago. It's not his sister anymore, so he doesn't know who she is. She's aged 40 years. You think he's with, oh, that's that babysitter that I saw for 5 minutes 40 years ago. No, he probably doesn't know it's her. It's just like, what? And now, I gotta face Michael. He doesn't know who you are, Laurie. He doesn't know who. No one's ever said, hey, this Lindsay girl beating you with a bag of bricks is that little girl that used to babysit. You killed my babysitter. When Lindsay was beating him with a bag of bricks in Halloween Kills, she should have said, remember me, Michael? You killed my babysitter. Me and Tommy were the ones who got the cops. Huh? And then he'd been like, oh, I know who you are now. And it would click, right? Laurie has never said, do you remember me? Do you know who I am? So like this whole time, so think about 2018, these 3 girls beat him up in a basement and leave him, right? And then he's just wanting to go home. So in Halloween Kills, he finally gets home. And here comes that girl again with her boyfriend. He's like, who are these people? He like throws her downstairs, breaks her leg, and he's about to kill her. And then here comes Christmas Sweater stabbing him in the back. Who is this crazy bitch? He doesn't know these people. And then he chases her down, and Tommy Doyle beats him up, or tries to beat him up. He doesn't know who that is either. He has no idea who these people are. They've never told it to him. They just assume that he's aware. They assume he knows, yet the storyline, in part in Halloween Kills, says, he doesn't know who you are, Laurie. It's not about you. That's what she's told in the hospital bed. So it's like, then what is it about? And why is she still like the final girl if it's not about her? Okay. So, those are my issues. So you can't point out problems without giving a solution. So how would I have written Halloween Ends into make it a good ending to this trilogy? Laurie has already written her book, and she's on a press tour, right? She's going around on like talk shows. There's newspaper articles. Her book's out. It's about being a survivor of Michael Myers. And there's a local article about all the survivors of Michael Myers. And it lists Laurie and explains who she is and how long he's been affecting her life. It says who Lindsay Wallace is and how she was being babysit that night. And it explains all the stuff, all the people who are currently alive. And somehow, Michael gets a hold of that, right? Because he's living in the sewer, so there you go. A homeless man has it, whatever. Michael gets a hold of that article, and he's like, these people survived me? Oh, that's who those people are? That's why those 3 women were after me in that house that they set on fire? That's why the girl with the Christmas sweater came back with a pitchfork? That's why they keep coming after me? Oh, I get it. Oh, these people, I've attacked these people before. These people are the reason I went to prison for 40 years. Because of that babysitter, because of Lindsay Wallace and Tommy going to get Dr. Loomis, they're the reason I went to jail for 40 years. I'm going to kill all these people. And he goes after everybody who's a survivor and tries to kill them. Anyone who gets in the way, he kills them. Lindsay's husband, Alice's boyfriend, like just add-on characters. Laurie's dating Ben Tramer. What happened to Ben Tramer? Because he died in part 2, but part 2 didn't exist. So where's Ben Tramer? Like all these things that could have been happening, like all these characters that could have just had there for the killing, and he tries to kill them all, and that's when Laurie comes up with the ultimate plan to get him. There you go. Like just something, and that would have been a good closing. Like, oh, he finally learns who these people are. He finally understands why they're after him, and he's going to finish the job, but he doesn't. There you go. There's your movie. And you know what? You can delete this, all this Corey stuff. You can just delete it altogether. Also, why now is Laurie like free from Michael? Yet when he was in prison, she was freaking out for 40 years, even though he's behind bars. But now that he's murdered her daughter and on the loose, she's good to go. Doesn't make sense. Like, what? What? Now that you know he's out there roaming the streets, you're okay? But when he was behind bars, you had a fortress? Like, I just don't get 4 writers. 4 writers. And they couldn't come up with something better than this. So hopefully, someone else will write a different Halloween timeline, and they'll do like Danielle Harris's timeline, Jamie Lloyd, Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter. And you know what they could do? They could actually bring Jamie Lee Curtis back and say she faked her death in a car wreck. Whatever you want to do. I don't know. But just get new people to write these movies, because it's just, what? Do people have any imagination? 4 people, and this is all they came up with? One thing that could have helped this movie is if at the very end, when they were about to grind him up, he just jumped up and he grabbed Laurie by the hair. And then they tussled for a split second, and then Allison turns the grinder on, and as soon as he starts getting sucked down, he lets go of her. That would have been at least something to be like, he wasn't dead, but now he is, you know. Just a little, there's the real Michael Myers, he got you. That would be the only thing. Or maybe the mask has, you want to do something supernatural, instead of like passing your evil on to some kid, why not have like the mask as the power? It's all in the mask. That's why he always wants his mask, because the mask is somehow powerful. I don't know. If you're going to go supernatural, there you go. I don't think you should go supernatural at all. But if you're going to go supernatural, make it about his mask. If his mask off, you can kill him. If his mask on, you can't. There you go. Anything better than like the easiness of this kid just happened to, you know, I'm not going to say it again. You got it. It's just too easy. Alright, so that's my review of Halloween Ends. Ugh, did I make you guys angry? Did I piss you off for telling the truth about how weird and corny it was? I'm sorry if I did. If you loved it, then great. I'm happy for you. I wish I would have loved it too, but I didn't, and I'm sorry about that. I wanted to love it so bad, but I didn't. You can go check out my Goof series where I've already done Halloween 1, 2, and 3. I should have part 4 up tomorrow, if not Monday, and then part 5, and so on and so on. I'm doing the whole franchise all October. I already have the Scream franchise up, as well as Top Gun and Mean Girls and Jurassic Park and Speed, so you can go check out all those as well. You also can follow me on Instagram, BrettLeeClark. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say, so I hope you have a good day.